This video is a tutorial on plyometric training. Speed and strength are integral components of fitness found in varying degrees in virtually all athletic movements. Simply put, the combination of speed and strength is power. For many years, coaches and athletes have sought to improve power in order to enhance performance. Throughout this century, and no doubt long before, jumping, bounding and hopping exercises have been used in various ways to enhance athletic performance. In recent years, this distinct method of training for power or explosiveness has been termed plyometrics. Plyometrics is based on the understanding that concentric muscular contraction is much stronger if it immediately follows an eccentric contraction of the same muscle. Most, if not all, lower body plyometric movements will use triple extension, which is the extension of the knee, hip and ankle joints to produce the maximum amount of force. Eccentric phase or landing phase involves the preloading of the agonistic muscle group. Amortization phase or transition phase is the time between the concentric and eccentric phases. This time needs to be as short as possible, otherwise the energy stored during the eccentric phase dissipates, reducing the plyometric effect. Concentric phase or takeoff phase uses stored energy to increase force of development. The stretch shortening cycle refers to the pre-stretch or counter-movement action that is commonly observed during typical human movements such as jumping. This pre-stretch allows the athlete to produce more force and move quicker. Though there is controversy surrounding the mechanics responsible for performance improvements observed from using the stretch shortening cycle, it is likely to be a combination of the active state and storage of elastic energy within the tendon. Due to the negative effects of electromechanical delay, it may be suggested that training methods which improve muscular pre-activity, such as plyometric and ballistic training, may be beneficial for improving athletic performance. Practical application. An experienced athlete conducting lower body plyometrics may conduct up to 150 to 200 contacts in a session. Athletes new to plyometric work should start with low to medium intensity with around 40 contacts per session. For example, 2 sets of 6 bunny hops is equal to 12 contacts. A similar approach should be taken with upper body plyometrics. Athletes should allow at least 1 minute of rest between sets. This allows the neuromuscular system to recover. Athletes should also provide 72 hours of rest between plyometric sessions. For bounding exercises, use surfaces such as grass or resilient surfaces. Avoid cement floors because there is no cushioning. Choose well-cushioned shoes that are stable and can absorb some of the inevitable impact. All athletes should undergo general orthopedic screening before engaging in plyometric training. Particular attention should be given to structural or postural problems that are likely to predispose the athlete to injury. The athlete in this tutorial is a basketball player wanting to improve speed when running around the court and a slow ground contact time when performing unilateral movements. First exercise is a bilateral bound using a ladder. The athlete starts in the ready position with bent knees and straight back before using triple extension. They will hop to every second square, landing with both feet simultaneously and aiming to rapidly hop to the next run, which is the goal of spending as little time as possible on the ground. The exercise is performed in a linear form of locomotion, which translates to running or sprinting at maximal speed around the court, trying to evade the defensive player with or without ball in hand. This movement uses the stretch shortening cycle and replicates a movement very similar to a counter movement jump, encouraging the athlete to transition their body weight forward in a linear motion instead of vertically. As seen, when the athlete lands, they bend at the knee and hip before squatting down to absorb the energy of the landing phase, then rapidly transitioning this energy into the concentric phase, extending at the knee, hip and ankle. A progression on this form of exercise is performing the exercise unilaterally, which is one leg at a time. This helps to develop each leg at a time to avoid a more dominant leg taking over during a bilateral version of the movement. To perform this movement, the athlete will carry out the exact same movement as the bilateral version, just transferring the weight onto one leg at a time. Benefits of performing this progression is firstly that it is more transferable to the athlete's sport than the bilateral movement. This is because when an athlete sprints during short bursts of play or a sprint towards the key to perform a layer, the athlete will be utilising single leg triple extension. This movement also increases foot-eye coordination of the athlete. This will help to increase the athlete's ability to react and change direction to evade a defensive player. This is the athlete performing the same exercise on their left leg. This led to the final progression, which sees the athlete performing the same unilateral hops, but instead the athlete starts on the outside of the ladder and jumps at an angle to land on the outside of the second run. Once landed, the athlete will try to repeat this, going to the opposite run, immediately shifting their weight simultaneously. This multi-direction unilateral movement is most transferable to the goal of the athlete to their sport. This movement will increase the athlete's ability to control their body weight, increase balance and foot-eye coordination. There is also a greater distance for the athlete to jump, forcing the athlete to utilise triple extension. This movement could be timed as to decrease the ground contact time. The movement is replicated in a basketball game when sidestepping around a defensive player. The multi-direction component of the exercise enhances the athlete's ability to absorb kinetic energy and transfer it into a different direction of motion, as previously mentioned when reacting to a defensive player and performing a simple sidestep. Here we have the athlete performing all of the exercises one after another.